So, recording in progress. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Dino Forest Mommy whatever show.
Cool people show.
Yeah, we're the coolest people ever. It's not like two people just having good conversations and recording that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
And
we're
everyone
saving the
missed,
environment.
yeah, and everyone missed our awesome spaces the other day too, that was super fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But I was, oh my God, yeah, I was celebrating the change of flatmates around you way too hard that night.
Because the ones you don't like were left.
Yeah, I would say, yeah. So yeah, that was like, oh my God, it's finally a little bit more of my space again. Or my space again too. But it was fun, definitely. I don't remember everything though.
Yeah, you were up late.
Oh yeah.
So how's your weekend going now up there in Austria?
Pretty calm. Like, I don't really go out a lot because like most places are not really interesting. I would need to get tested and everything, but it's, I don't know. I've tried to go out a couple of times, but then I realized like, nope, not into it anymore.
No, they make it hard. Why, like, making things harder doesn't make me want to go do shit. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh no, it's not just about being hard. Like, it's somehow the people and the mood. It depends on who you meet up with, and we've got like in the inner city, you've got some troublemakers from a certain cultural region that will always try to do these status games. And if they see other men, like, they don't only rape women, they also go like, oh yeah, this is a guy who looks strong. Maybe I want to fight him and stuff like that. So I'm
I
really
believe that. I believe that. They're just, people just get depraved, don't they?
Yeah. And I mean, like we talked about last night with the Germans, a lot of people are just about status symbols and they don't really figure out how to connect with themselves, and then they just, run with everything like, oh, I gotta get this laptop for university because everybody has it. I gotta get the university degree. I gotta do that. I have to be here. And that's probably gonna make me happy, and it's not going to.
Never. It's outward and it's shallow. May give them a fleeting moment of satisfaction, but in the end, it won't add anything.
Yeah. And plus they're getting in debt for all of these things, like going into vacations and everything. Like, it's crazy. But they've got nobody at the social fields, not their parents, to ask them, like, is that really a smart idea? Is that really what you want to do? Because at one point you've got to pay off that shit. And then it's poverty.
Yeah, and I mean, when you owe more, like, some of these people, like, they seem like they're all right, but they owe more than they make in a year. They owe more money than assets and money that they even have. And it's like, that means you're like fucking broke, really, dude.
Yeah. Yeah,
worth it?
No, it's not. Like, a friend of mine did that and he got all the expensive things. Now he came to terms with reality and he realized, shit, I'm at least at like 48K into debt, and in Europe 48K and being into debt like that, it's a lot.
Yeah, I would cry.
Yeah.
I would feel like so lost and stuck and like, yeah, that's a lot of freaking money.
Yeah, especially when you don't make more than like, it's hard to make more than 40K around here.
Yeah, I mean, in America, pretty much too. That's like entry level, about 40K top.
I know, I did the calculations and everything. I know what I would make over there, and this is when I'm definitely gonna come over.
You're like, you're coming to America
To make the money because of the migrant, because Europe ain't paying enough. Wait, didn't we have that as a part of history before?
We just have to repeat it a couple more times and then we'll get it right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Humans.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, yeah, because my mental problems and everything, I can treat them with pills. I don't have to look into myself and maybe reflect on a lot of things, like maybe family and stuff, or behaviors. We don't gotta do that. It's it's just biochemicals, and they just happen like magic.
Yeah, you just pop a pill and you're good. You don't have to work on anything or do anything hard.
No, like, yeah.
People, humans. We were talking about that last night. I met a friend last night at the libertarian thing, and like we were talking till like 11, and then he goes, he was like, "Can we talk about the Bible?" And I'm like, "I need to go home because that'll be a very long conversation, and we'll be here till like 2 a.m." It's just funny how we are humans. We gotta talk about that kind of shit, you know?
Absolutely.
Not be shallow about it and think it's all just easy to fix.
Yeah. But a lot of people are looking for the easy way out right now. It's like, oh, no, it's the simple thing here. And you're like, no, it's not simple. It's like a friend of mine, he today got forklift certified. So shout out to you, Kristen. You're going to watch that anyway. And yeah, like, I mean, you did that and his parents were like, what? And then you moving to Austria. And he was like, well, yeah. And I'm not going to explain all this story, but let's just say the parents didn't do, they kind of screwed up in his name a lot. And they're just like, yeah, now you're listening to this guy. Like, yeah, I didn't, screw him up or something.
You turned him to an extremist, probably. You're an extremist, I'm sure.
Yeah, like, oh my God, all of these people are like, oh, family values are strong and everything. And you're like, okay, but how strong is your family bond? Like, how do you actually interact with your children? Or are they just a status symbol? Because if they are, that's not a family bond. That's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they just send those kids to like a government school and don't care what they're learning. And it's like, I mean, I don't have kids, so I'm not allowed to have an opinion on it, but I'm always like, don't you have them to like raise them and like teach them how to do things and like, but a lot of people don't.
Yeah, I mean, then the teenager comes up like, mommy, daddy, I have some questions like, how is life working? How is it working? And I'm starting to have more in-depth thoughts and everything. And then the parents go just like, oh, you know what? You can figure and answer somebody else. We've got social workers. Yeah, that's going to help. Like, definitely bonding with people who you barely know, that's definitely going to help you a lot. And this is how trust actually works.
Yeah. And it's a good human experience.
Yeah.
No, but like we were saying, like if you, it's almost easier if you can accept the fact that things will be hard to fix and will take a struggle and will take terrible feelings. Like once you accept that, it's almost like it becomes easier to go through that.
Yeah, because
once you're like over the easy thing.
Yeah, because you don't mentally try to avoid the possibility of it getting bad. It's like if you ever do first aid for somebody who has been in an accident, a huge thing is gonna be like, you don't need to panic that a bad thing is gonna happen. It happened. Now you calm. Now we just do the thing step by step. This is how it's going to work.
Yeah. Whenever I would nanny and the kids would like get hurt and shit, and then I'd be like, okay, we're just gonna breathe through this, okay? We're gonna stay calm and we're gonna breathe through this. Whatever. I think that's a pretty good trait to teach them, but what do I know?
In the kindergarten where I work, we have also had this boss. The woman who was leading that kindergarten, she was great. When the children fell down, she was like, okay, it hurts and everything. There's a little bit of blood. Now we count fingers. How many do we have left? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 9, 10. And then it's like, okay, so all fingers. There's everything still attached where it should be. Check, check. Yeah, it is. And then things were a lot finer. Like the child also learned, okay, it's you will fall down, you get hurt. You see the grown-ups don't panic over it. It's not a big deal here. It's fine.
Well, yeah, and you can tell the kids who are raised by the parents that are like, ooh, but like, add that panic in, and you're like, that doesn't help anything or anybody. Come on, like.
Yeah, that's not even part of your job, man. Like, as a parent, you are not there to indulge panic in your children. Like, oh my God, you have to feel my emotions, little child. Like, something's pretty messed up here, dude.
Yeah, that happens a lot. That fucking cycle continues on a lot.
Yeah. Basically, with most.
How's the weather? How's the weather over there? Totally random question, but how's the weather over there?
It's good. It's pretty autumny, and I do like it a lot. And I'm gonna be on vacation next week.
So is it already like? Is it cool, like cooler weather there now? Cooler
Yeah,
temperatures?
yeah, we're like at let me check. We are, I think, around 60 degrees. Yeah, like around 60s.
Fahrenheit?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I can hear you right now.
Yeah, they're still coming in.
Yeah, I'm still there.
Yeah, like I said, you were like this dumb American.
And already broken up again. I can't hear you at all. I hope you can hear me. There goes the connection. Okay, we got some audio again.
Yeah, sorry. Got a call. I answered it real quick. But we're good, right? Yeah.
Bad technical difficulties. Yeah.
Someone poured out.
You are kind of froze again.
Can you hear my audio?
Yeah, barely, but yes, now I have visual a little bit.
Anyway, sorry, I'm not home and making this better.
We are about to find out.
Just have to take a quick exit here. Okay, back to our discussion.
Yeah, it is, but sometimes with connection and everything, you gotta wait a little bit. And I mean, we're not doing this for money, so.
No, yeah, I hope our production level, they can accept it.
Yeah,
Someone's paying for it, so you get what you get.
absolutely. We're not producing high quality content here.
Yeah, we're just talking right now. But
Yeah.
I got my other stuff set up so I can record some too now, and I'll set up my computer in my room and
Yeah,
then have a better microphone on there.
Yeah, I watched and listened to that already. It's definitely
Did
way
you have
better
my little
quality.
live stream? Yeah,
Yeah.
just a little better quality. I couldn't get a microphone to work on my computer for like months because that's how dumb I am. It seems so simple, but I finally got it to work. It'll work good.
Maybe I'll get one too, and just to have a better order, but maybe also webcam or something. I don't know. We'll see.
The webcam I use is just, I had a GoPro 8 someone gave me, and that actually worked pretty good for the webcam. And then I just got a microphone. I got like a cheaper. I'm like, I don't spend microphone. Like, and I got it was around $30, and it worked. It like worked with my computer. It set itself up finally, and it worked. So that one was good.
I'm still using all my laptop equipment and just that, but it works fine. If I wasn't recording, I would probably just use my phone and there have a wireless headset that somehow doesn't connect the microphone to the computer because I'm done with technical stuff too.
Love it. But we figure it out. As long as we figure it out enough, and like if it works, it works, right? That's all we can ask for.
Yeah. As long as it works, don't ask the questions. This is basically how I treat the entire economy anyway.
Yeah, don't ask how things work. As long as it works, just go with it.
Yeah, like recently I've learned this, like last Friday, I've actually learned that there are some government issued companies and they hire drivers for way below minimum wage, but it makes sense because otherwise the entire logistics department would, like it wouldn't work if you wouldn't have some people you underpay a lot because people are not paying for packaging and everything. And that shit costs money if the state takes so much out of it already.
That's true. And there are always people who will take a lower wage because they need that money and they need that job, which I know the commies are like, well, that's, exploiting them. And it's like, no, they're
Yeah.
choosing to work. Like,
Yeah, and then a lot of those people are like from, I mean, obviously they migrated here, so a lot of people don't even know about the laws here and that this is kind of illegal and everything. And then you have the supervisors who are from these areas too. So like they stay in their cultural behavior and things to them look normal. So, okay, guys, if you would migrate better, if you would learn how the culture here works and not only stay in your small little group, then maybe you'd figure that the way people treat each other sometimes ain't that good. Like you have a lot of men who are just like, I'm not making mistakes, I am stronger and everything, and they don't know shit, and they still try to pretend like they know everything. And some are even like, some of my colleagues don't even know how to use like an app, where to order food and stuff like that.
but their ego, they think they know everything. The
Yeah.
best thing ever.
Yeah, like in Muslim culture with men especially, it's like if you admit that you don't know something, that's a sign of weakness. If somebody helps you, that's a sign of weakness. So it always has to be like you command people to blah blah blah. It's like it's part of the reason also like why these cultures don't work so well, because you gotta admit when you're wrong sometimes, man.
You have to. You have to admit when you're wrong. You have to admit when you don't know something. Like, I hate when people like say they like, especially in real estate, like, all these brokers are like, they're fucking smelling their own farts. And like people will ask them questions that they don't know. And instead of saying, I don't know, let me figure it out, they'll just say some bullshit answer. And then that ends up not being true. And it's kind of a big deal in a real estate deal, like, it's just like, just say you don't know.
Yeah, but they believe the bullshit of like fake it until you make it, and no, you will never fake it until you make it. You will not learn like that.
No, I mean, not for something where there's like specific information that like matters.
Yeah.
You can't fake it.
Fake it until you make it. Well, geez, I think I'm gonna reply as a heart surgeon right now.
Lord.
I'm a good actor. I can make up the backstory. Like, yeah, university was hard. Oh, dude, learning all of that stuff. Oh my God.
Good actor.
Yeah.
And you said you haven't done any like acting lately, right? 'Cause COVID especially and all that, like theater stuff.
Yeah, like I did some small extra roles, but that was basically about it. And let's say as it is, like it's not really hard to do those.
Right.
And
Did you have fun doing it?
yeah, sort of. But then yeah, here it's like if you've got this, the scenes they often shoot are basically like maybe 30 seconds or something. So it's like, and then the director and the art designer and everybody keeps talking and being important and have this idea for the lighting and this idea and blah blah blah. But like maybe you kind of should have figured that out a little bit before. And I think the acting matters more. But German speaking movies are trash most of the time. Like we do some kind of okayish criminal movies, like detective movies, but that's it.
Detective movies, true crime kind of stuff, murder mystery movies.
Yeah, basically that. And then you have policemen and blah blah blah, and going to the investigation. They got to find the murderer, as we know it.
Why are we so entertained by that kind of stuff? Because I mean, there's shit tons of shows over here that are all cop shows, but that are like, why are humans just love that shit? It's all fake half the time too. Like they're always doing illegal things, the cops, and like,
Or
I
like,
don't know.
I guess it's fun and it's a little bit out of the ordinary. So you get to see some shit. And I mean, if they play well, like in NCIS, you got this kind of family structure. So that is keeping people around, definitely.
That's true. The little work group, they're all like friends. Yeah, see that. And probably because most people aren't criminals, and it's like, ooh, here's a look inside the criminal world, and like, what happened?
Oh yeah, with these jokes, it's like, oh, and somebody is taking drugs like this. Nobody is taking drugs. Then you look in the work area, work fields, you're like, No, literally everybody's taking drugs. Literally everyone. It's all, yeah, it's awesome when you have people like, oh, taking drugs is bad and blah blah blah, and then they're manager and they work overtime and you already know what they're gonna do in their break time.
Yeah, you're like, I like back, like, yeah, everybody fucking does drugs. They can't get overtime. They can't be working that hard without them.
No, I mean, like with a physical job, I can understand. I mean, you just have to face the fact that your body's going to be a little bit more tired. But if you have to do something with your head, yeah, there's gonna be the 9 hour, 10 hour point where shit's gonna get hard.
Yeah, you get a breaking point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're probably moving. You move 8 hours a day, right? You do pretty much.
Yeah. Like 8 to 9 hours.
It's tiring. You're lifting and moving and driving. Like, oh, it's tiring. It is good for your body, though. Like we said, it's being active.
I mean, it's not really that bad. Like we don't work so hard, as hard as we could work. So that's a good point.
You're like, I'm not a cripple from working so hard or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I almost became one. So.
Did you? Did you have an accident?
Yeah, like a couple of years ago, I actually started, like my right arm started to hurt. And then I got it checked up, but not in the right way. Check up as that only happened when I moved to Austria, and there I already had that condition for 2 years. And then I only went to the doctor because I couldn't close my hand any longer at one morning.
Crap. Yeah. Then you're like, oh, maybe I should get this checked out.
Yeah, and the first time they checked it out, they were like, yeah, it's totally the risk. Like, I don't blame the doctor because she had to treat like 300 patients. Public healthcare, y'all, that's the fun shit. If you live in a highly populated area with public healthcare, the specialists, especially for physical shit, they are going to be overbooked. And if you have an emergency, maybe you're lucky and she's not stressed, or the doctor is stressed out so much and will point out the right diagnosis. Most of the time they won't, though.
Well,
yeah, and I would have gotten surgery on my wrist and everything, and that would have done nothing.
It would have cost. Well, it could have hurt you more if you get more surgery. Kind of fuck you up worse sometimes. So yeah. Did you not do anything for it? And it just started working again?
No. Like I went to the doctor and got some therapy for it. Like they did some electricity, they did some sonar that worked good, and then I had to rest it for like a year, and now it's really going good back. I'm way less in pain. I can feel it healing, and it was good.
Good.
But the doctor in Austin and Vienna also told me, like, usually you don't get this kind of injury unless you really worked hard your entire life and you're like 40 and you built roads or something.
You're like, no, I'm just a young hard worker.
Yeah, and then the biggest problem is, like, in the kitchen, I never looked like I wasn't stressed, but sometimes I didn't work without a break. But I never look angry or stressed to do this, like, oh, this is so hard. Like, I don't get why I would do that. If I'm saying I'm stressed or I do need a break, I actually mean it.
Right. And that was in the kitchen, you said?
Yeah, I work in the kitchen as a chef.
And was it like, those can be pretty high stress? Was it a high stress kind of kitchen?
Yeah, like during the summer season, definitely we had a lot of work to do. And then the actual supervisor from the kitchen, like he had an accident, so I kind of had to jump in and lead the team or something. Best shit about it, like 60 to 70 hour week, and you still make like $900.
Okay.
That was fun.
But you don't want, you have any interest working in a kitchen again?
No, not really. Like I would maybe do food truck one day, but
you like the food truck idea.
Yeah, I mean, like I do have my recipes that are definitely hits. They work. If I would sell them, that would definitely make me some money and would be fun.
Yeah, so you'd like to do it again if it's your business and you're in control of it, pretty much.
Yeah, and if I don't have to go overly into debt just to get the freaking truck and the licensing and everything for that. Because you do that over here, like, not worth it.
Yeah, you were saying, I mean, And it's expensive here too, but yeah, you were saying it's a lot. It was pricey over there.
Yeah. Everything you can do costs, unless you got a university degree, then it becomes a little bit cheaper, although it's not your field of work.
Yeah, isn't that the weirdest thing too? How easy it is to get a school loan, but to get a business loan, it's so much harder.
Yeah.
It's so fucked up.
I mean, the
But I guess
school,
that's the plan.
yeah, I mean, the school loans should be harder, but then you have a lot of people going into all of these degrees that will actually end them up in a different field of work than what they studied, and they will probably never go into that field of work because
They don't want to.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, they're. Go on. I was trying to think something, but go on.
yeah, as we mentioned the last time anyway, it's this, all the young people not going into the businesses. It's so crazy how easy it is to really go into a trade.
Right, and then you get your own. Like it's so weird over here too. How everyone is so against. They think self-employment's like evil and stuff, and you're like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? Like it's the best way to go if you can, especially if you're in the trades or whatever. Like everyone's just so ass backwards about it.
Yeah, and I mean, especially if you go into the trades, like you don't want to deal with the shitty boss. Okay, work for some people for a couple of years, so you learn how to do shit, and then you can start your own business. Like get your equipment together, get your tools and everything. Maybe get a setup like this guy from New Zealand. He has his storage in a garage. Basically, he just rents, so that's going to be cheap. And he then puts everything on his van, goes right to the place and to the construction site or to the houses they're working on, and then they do it and they get the material delivered right there and everything. Like you can be so flexible these days that you basically don't need to have this big store like you used to.
Right. Yeah, and then people like then your only boss is the actual customer who's actually paying you. You don't have like layers of middle management, and like it's just such a better way to do it.
Yeah. And the customer's going to be
Although
like, you do it like this. I want to have this wall there and there, or something like this here and here. And then you go like, okay, and you are getting paid for being the guy who knows how to do it.
exactly, and they will happily pay it because they can't fucking do it themselves. So
Yeah.
sometimes the clients, but
You were
not
breaking
like
up again.
a boss. You know, I was. Am I here now?
Yeah, you're there.
I was saying, sometimes clients can be like terrible and stuff, but whatever. At least it's not like a bunch of middle management bosses, you know.
Yeah, and there's a saying like we have in German for the like it's not really saying, it's more like, you know, if the customer's being an ass, charge him. Like if they're
That
an
must
asshole,
be.
yeah. If a customer's going to be an asshole, you're just going to be like, yeah, sure, sir. And then you just put it on the bill because you write something down that's maybe bullshit, but he doesn't know. And like work your office job and your boss is an asshole.
My phone might cut out.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I hate that shit. And you can't choose those bosses. Whereas clients, if you get a really bad vibe from a client, you can like choose not to work for them. You know.
Yeah, especially in this day and age, like everybody in the trades is so freaking busy. As also said, like you have literal businesses talking to each other. Like, yeah, I got this customer there. Like, it's gonna be a detour for us. So, but I know you are working around that area. Maybe you can fit it into your schedule. So like it's not even competition anymore in those fields, and the customers have to pay what the people who are still doing these jobs ask them to pay.
Yes. Yeah, it's supply and demand, baby. Like the real deal. That's as like efficient of an example as you can do.
Yeah. And I mean, like, if especially if you like self-esteem wise, these jobs are awesome too. Like, you know your skills, you know what you can do, you know what you can't do, and you will actively always learn something because no place is ever going to be the same. No part of work. Like, I mean, you've obviously you've got your monotone things, but that's in every freaking job.
Yeah, but then there's like every project is a different project with different things and a different, it's all different.
Yeah. But I think that would actually require young people to go through the first two months and something like that. I mean, you have a lot of people going to the gym, but if you actually physically work 8 hours, your arm's gonna hurt because they're getting used to that shit. And your legs will hurt because you've never walked for 8 hours straight for an entire week and maybe longer. You carry stuff, and that's the stamina
Work and you're
muscles.
not getting paid, you might not get paid for a little bit. Like with real estate, I had one client I did work for 3 years before I ever got money from, like, paid for it. Like, that's the one thing people like with self-employment. It's like you have to put in a lot of time and hours before you even get paid sometimes, but you like have to fucking do it to get to the end process. Like, that's kind of hard for people to realize.
Yeah, it's always like, I want the easy thing, like I want to learn how to code, and but yeah, if you learn how to code, yes, you can make a lot of money, but if you are not really putting your head into the game, you will have the competition that is smarter and better at everything.
Yeah, it's true. You have to keep up with shit. Like, you have to be a little competitive. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. And like as I said, like there are some jobs where you can definitely make a decent buck. Like anything in the trades will earn you enough money to do by. Absolutely.
Especially too, if you don't want to have this big flashy life and you're okay with, like, it's very easy to survive and be comfortable if you're not spending shit tons of money.
Yeah, like the big house and the fancy whatever and blah blah. Like mm,
All the
uh,
keeping up with the Joneses stuff.
yeah, plastic life, plastic people.
Which that's how they got so many people to sign up for these college loans over here, at least, because they're like, oh well, you go to college and you get the good job, and then you'll be like, you'll be like all these other people who have this and that. So you have to do this if you want to have that. And it's like,
Yeah.
fuck, man, humans are so dumb and easy to like.
Yeah, I mean, like if they had decent parents or like some at least the decent social context, the social context would be maybe be like, yeah, maybe you don't.
Yeah, right. You can actually be happy without all that bullshit.
Like
Really.
there was like a Q&A with Nick Offerman in some university, I don't remember exactly where. And some people asked him about like getting degrees and everything, and he was sitting there and he was like, yeah, but maybe you don't get the degree. Maybe, check it out. Some of the happiest people I know are in the trades. They're good people, and it doesn't mean that you have to be dumb or anything. That's it, I'm cliche. But you make the money, and then you can still, like, you have a passion for philosophy. Yeah, do that, but also make the money, make the buck, which definitely gets you by, and then you can study philosophy and pay for it by yourself without getting into debt.
Exactly. That's the best way to do it. Yeah, and it's so funny that people said trades, like the whole tradesmen are dumb. I'm like, if you can't fix something in your own house, and that would, I mean, you're not dumb necessarily, but it's like one of you is obviously smarter than the other. One person can fix something and one person can't. So
Yeah, but I'm the intellectual and blah blah blah. I got this and this degree and everything. Like the good academics who actually know shit, they will respect their tradesmen because they know these people will do things they will not be able to, and you don't just easily build something.
someone has to fucking do it. That's always funny. Like some of my partner's clients, because he does construction, and people like they'll want things that aren't possible, and it's like, no, like there are actual physics and things that we have to deal with here. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was this intellectual girl on Twitter, like a German intellectual, and her shelves fell down. And also, she's a feminist activist, like at working for the newspaper and everything. Like, she has a good job actually. And then her shelves fell down because she overloaded them with books and she used the wrong hooking for the wall and everything. And some people pointed that out. And then some people were like, oh, now we have tradesmen explaining shit here. That's kind of okay, then we don't. And then your shit will fall down again. Like,
every time.
I can't do everything. I'm so special. I know things. I just messed up this one time. All right.
It's so dumb because like it's so much more efficient to be told you did something wrong so that you can do it right again. Like,
Yeah.
hello.
Ask people what you did wrong if you did something wrong, who maybe have the know-how. But obviously she's an intellectual, and traits can't be that hard.
Right. And that was just all mansplaining, I'm sure, to her.
I don't know what she exactly said, but I read some comments, like especially from some guys. I love how the sim cultures, you already know, it's like they are not doing this because they are in it for because they actually mean it. They are in it so they can get the nice attention they want, and that they maybe can get with a girl.
Yes.
There is no genuine sim who doesn't want to have sex.
It's true. That's just the truth of life.
Yeah. I mean, like that's also funny. Like people with good self-esteem, they don't sleep around as like, I don't want to touch sleeping around, but they don't sleep around as meaningless as like, oh, I see somebody, maybe a trick that they just like, I have some preferences and I don't have to jump on every situation I can get.
Yes. Yeah, I think we kind of talked about that last time too. Like, obviously it's been a while for you too. It's like, but you don't need to just jump on whatever you can get. So
Yeah. Wait for somebody until you're really interested and then go for it. Like, you don't have to wait for the love of your life, but at least wait for somebody who you really match with.
it'll be fun. Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
fun and you'll have a good time.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
crazy.
But yeah, even that, like, it's funny to watch the dating market here. As also mentioned, it's the communication is just so weird. Where it's like some, if you would go to a club or something here, maybe here you will meet some girl who would go like, okay, I'm gonna send a signal, so this can happen. But a lot of times you have to, like, they don't even hold eye contact. Just like they
Oh,
look
really?
away. Yeah, it's crazy.
Like like they just don't have like a strong enough, like, do you think they just are always, it just bugs them to look at people's eyes, or why do you think that is?
um I don't know, like, recently the flirting rules that have been established here, like if you talk to people like about the flirting rules, you're just like, is it worth it? You got to watch a lot of things. I mean, it's crazy. Like my one friend also said, like, he doesn't want to date any West European girls anymore because it's just a lot of weird mental stuff. Like, I mean, I think I could get by with because of my looks. Like, that makes girls put in a bit more effort usually. But yeah, self-esteem again.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder if their eyes, if it's a self-esteem kind of thing.
I mean, like, but I mean, it's like in the situation, you go into a place, then she looks at him and you kind of look at each other, you hold the eye contact. So it becomes clear enough that there's a little bit of interest going on. And that doesn't even happen anymore a lot.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think it's from the whole, like, just how online we all are too, and just everyone's kind of not as great as physical connection anymore too?
I don't know what the problem is. Like, it used to start before that even. My theory is that there's definitely lack of fathers and male mentor roles in Europe in general. Like, it's even worse here. A lot of families don't, like, they have a father or something, but they are a little bit soft and, yeah, your mama is right and everything, but there's no really fathering happening. And then you have some people who maybe are out of those relationships, who are like in their 40s or 50s. And of course, then they decide, like, yeah, actually, I kind of messed up, and getting married to that woman, that was kind of the mistake. So they go hook up with the 20-year-old girls. And of course, they're going to treat every young guy as a rival, and they will not mentor those people because that would make hard competition and stuff like that. So like,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think this is part of the reason why it's gotten so weird. And like, some recent story, like, I've learned from a friend, I've heard it from another person who helped her out. Like, she had, like, for example, she had a panic attack. She went to her partner, like, I have a panic attack, and it was a legit one. And the partner was like, maybe no, but the partner cannot handle those emotional things. And he's the older guy. So what instead happened instead is that that girl talked to that common friend we have, and that common friend came over and spent like stayed with her for a night and was like, okay, if you have somebody to connect to talk to, you know, it's fine to have this, what's happening right now, it's not nice, but it's fine, I'm there. And but still, like this is an example, like in this, where they then get the care, but if they look for partners or anything, they will always look for the projects, like some great young smart women, but they will look for the project, they will look for the guys, which they have to take care about, because this is what they've been told, that you will always have to take care of those guys. You know, we are dumb, we cannot do shit ourselves.
Like that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, so that like things are complicated. It's fun to watch and to analyze, and I'm having a good time in general.
Yeah, you have a pretty good attitude, I would say. You're not like an angry incel, or you're in control of yourself, you're in control of your mind, you're in control of your body. Like, you don't want to harm it by doing other shit you shouldn't be doing,
Yeah.
like just fucking random people that you don't want to, which people do. Makes no sense to me, but
Yeah, I've looked at that as a teenager, and it was like for the fun that these people claim to have, that also it seems like it creates more problems than it actually creates fun. It's like, so that's not worth it.
no, no, especially because you want the sex stuff to be good and enjoyable and like memorable, and not like then you have all this other stress around it. Fuck that.
Oh yeah, you want that too. Oh god. Yeah. I mean, like, I didn't do it as much as many people, but I remember every single time, and every single time was pretty darn good.
Yeah, that's good. Like, might as well.
Yeah, might as well have the fun thingy.
All right, I should probably cut it off. I'm almost at a little place.
Yeah, that's awesome. Then enjoy it. I will. Okay, I can stop the
We got a
recording.
half an hour. We got a half an hour in this time, so that's good.
Good. Okay, then have a great
Well,
day.
you too. I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later. Enjoy. Bye.